The story of Morgan Stanley. On September 16, 1935, Henry Sturgis Morgan, Harold Stanley, Dean G. Witter, Richard S. Reynolds, and others who worked for J.P. Morgan and Co. set up the first Morgan Stanley. The main office is in New York, which is in the United States. Morgan Stanley is the biggest international investment bank and financial services company in the United States. Morgan Stanley went from being a small Wall Street partnership to one of the biggest trading banks and financial services companies in the world. Morgan Stanley is a successful company with offices in more than 42 countries and more than 60,000 workers. Morgan Stanley's three business areas for the 2020 fiscal year are institutional securities, wealth management, and investment management, with record net sales of $25.9 billion. Morgan Stanley helps people, businesses, and institutions build, keep, and manage their wealth so that they can meet their financial goals. Morgan Stanley has always given its customers the best care possible. All of this is based on 5 core principles. This is what makes Morgan Stanley special and successful: doing the right thing, putting customers first, leading with great ideas, committing to diversity and inclusion, and giving back. Marketing strategy of Morgan Stanley. Let's look at Morgan Stanley's plan for promotion and how Morgan Stanley's advertising strategy is run. Targeting, segmentation, and positioning. Segmentation is how companies split their marketing into different groups based on factors like the ones below. Institutional securities, investment management, wealth management. Their clients include corporations, governments, financial institutions, insurance companies, third-party donors, and small to medium-sized businesses and institutions. Targeting is a marketing strategy that divides a big market into smaller groups in order to focus on a specific part of that market. In marketing, psychographic factors are used to categorize lifestyle-related hobbies, behaviors, and points of view. Behavioral segmentation is the process of dividing buyers into groups based on how they feel about a product, how much they know about it, how they use it, and how they react to it in other ways. Think about what you want, what the market wants, and how the market uses the goods or services you want to target. Brokerage and advice on how to buy the company's goal market is fixed income securities trading, financial and wealth management services, insurance and annuities, and credit and other banking services for retirement plans. Positioning shows how your goods and services compare to those of other companies that offer similar products and services. With 5 years of earnings and profit savings in a row, Morgan Stanley's finances are in good shape. Morgan Stanley wants to provide governments, institutions, organizations, and people all over the world with excellent long-term investment performance, service, and a wide range of investment management goods. Marketing campaigns. Morgan Stanley's advertising approach has changed from being traditional to being new and different. One of the best things that was done was to change the website's traditional design into a website with a lot of material and redesign it altogether. Its Capital Create Change program has helped its clients get back on their feet after the recession. It all starts with a dream of making the world a better place. Morgan Stanley works with businesses, new businesses, and governments to help them reach their lofty goals. Their knowledge, technology, and people skills help their clients manage their money, reach their goals, and make good changes in their lives. Support for New York City's street vendors is promoted by Morgan Stanley and Robin Hood. Morgan Stanley and Robinhood announced today that with help from the Street Vendor Project, they will give money to 2,000 street sellers in New York City. During the COVID outbreak, street sellers said they lost 70 to 90% of their income, and many of them were turned down for help. Over 2,000 vendors in New York City will get up to $1,000 each from this funding to help them pay rent, cover utility costs, and buy food. Robinhood gives an extra $375,000 and will help with managing the funds and giving them to the target group. Morgan Stanley has given $2 million to this project. Most of the 20,000 people who sell food and other items on the streets and sidewalks of New York City are women of color, veterans, and foreigners with low incomes. Even though street vendors are expected to bring in $293 million for the city's economy, they can't get emergency aid or unemployment insurance from the government because their jobs aren't official or they are in the country illegally. Can you answer the following question? How does Morgan Stanley divide its marketing into different groups? A. Behavioral factors. B. Geographic location. C. Psychographic factors. D. Age and income. Morgan Stanley recently launched a human immunodeficiency virus prevention campaign with Save the Children. Today, the Morgan Stanley International Foundation and Save the Children announced a new relationship that will help Save the Children stop HIV, human immunodeficiency virus, from being passed from mother to child in South Africa. As part of this project, Save the Children will teach 200 home-based nurses and 100 health workers in Limpopo, which is one of the poorest parts of South Africa. They will learn about prenatal care, counseling, tests, and the safest way to give birth. The idea could help up to 325,000 children and more than 250,000 women who are expecting. The chairman of Morgan Stanley Worldwide said that the company has always put money into projects that help kids get health care. HIV is the main reason why children under the age of 5 die in South Africa. It is responsible for 57% of all child deaths. We are excited to work with Save the Children on this project, which will make the lives of many South African moms and children much better. The groundbreaking program will give HIV tests to pregnant women, anti-HIV drugs to avoid passing the virus to their babies, and regular medical care to help children reach their 5th birthday. Social media marketing. Morgan Stanley has done a lot of marketing on social media sites like Twitter and LinkedIn to keep up with the times. Morgan Stanley is very busy on social media networking sites like LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube, among others. Social media followers. LinkedIn 2.2 million. Instagram 292,000. Twitter 654.7 thousand. SEO scores say that less than 500 keywords is bad, more than 1,000 is okay, and more than 10,000 is great. We can see that www.morganstanley.com is scored well and has 566,751 organic keywords. That means that digital marketing at Morgan Stanley is getting a lot of information. Also, having more than 20,000 hits per month is a good sign. So we can see that Morgan Stanley's SEO methods are helping them reach their goals and are working well. Influencer marketing. Morgan Stanley just started working with professional women's tennis player Leylah Fernandez to make more tennis fans around the world aware of the Morgan Stanley brand. Fernandez will work for Morgan Stanley as an agent and help the company with its charitable work. Morgan Stanley and Cheyenne Woods make a deal to work together. Cheyenne Woods, a professional golfer on the LPGA Tour, has said that she will be working with Morgan Stanley in the future. Woods will be a brand ambassador for Morgan Stanley. He will work with Justin Rose to promote the company's giving back programs, such as the Eagles for Impact program. They are very happy to have Cheyenne join Morgan Stanley as a brand ambassador. Cheyenne is a great player, and she also lives by many of our firm's core values. Her sportsmanship and dedication set a good model for women, especially women of color, who want to go into sports as a career. E-commerce techniques. Morgan Stanley lets users log in and keep an eye on their stock plan, matrix, and other accounts. They could also talk to investors and the media. Morgan put out a study app for the iPad and iPhone. The software, which is actually available on the iPad and iPhone, lets institutional clients from any country look at snipping study whenever they want. Institutional clients of Morgan Stanley can get information from anywhere in the world. Mobile apps. Morgan Stanley has a number of mobile apps, such as Morgan Stanley Research, Stock Plan Connect, Wealth Management, and Morgan Stanley Matrix Mobile. Each app offers a different service that customers can get from the company whenever they want. With the Morgan Stanley phone app, you can keep track of all of your personal funds, manage your accounts, get information about them, make checks, move money, and talk to the Morgan Stanley team from anywhere. And use a lot of security when you do it online. Content marketing strategies. Morgan Stanley uses Instagram and Facebook to tell us about current events and the benefits of banking, as well as to promote their goods. They also share relevant posts about their projects or new company changes with their followers on LinkedIn. Morgan Stanley has been promoting its programs on a number of social media sites, such as LinkedIn and Twitter. Morgan Stanley supported many different campaigns, such as Who We Are, Pride Month, Save the Children, and many more. Morgan Stanley always makes material that keeps people interested. This ends with a long description of Morgan Stanley's marketing plan. Let's sum up what we've learned about Morgan Stanley's marketing approach below. Conclusion: what's unique in Morgan Stanley's marketing? Morgan Stanley is growing in the banking business in developing countries, the United States, and around the world. The way Morgan Stanley markets itself is becoming more and more popular all over the world to get people to know the name. Social networking apps are also used to help clients get in touch with each other. They do better than their competitors in the market because they sell their products with a socially important idea. Morgan Stanley's marketing plan is good overall, and they use cutting-edge marketing techniques. It offers online ads on social media sites like LinkedIn and Twitter by using digital marketing, which is the newest way to market.